Welcome back to Real Legends Podcast. I'm your host, Bo, and I'm here with my buddy,
Dan.
All right, and we are talking The Empire Strikes Back.
Yes, we are. The last episode, Napoleon Dynamite, was really funny. And I think that our voices actually do sound pretty similar.
Yeah, I brought this up to Dan that, I don't think we sound similar, but when I listen to the podcast, I'm like, can people tell who's talking and who's not talking?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then he was like, no, I think I sound way different. And I was like, okay. But now he has a different opinion.
I listened to the Napoleon Dynamite, and there was a few moments when I thought, is that me?
It's especially hard when we're doing a voice of a character, like an impersonation.
I feel like I can tell really easily with impersonations,
really?
actually. That was not what tricked me at all. It was when one of us was giving an exposition, explaining something. I was genuinely, is that me or is that Bo? I don't remember.
Interesting. Fans out there, what do you think? Is it just a blend of one voice, or can you tell the difference? Do you have trouble tracking who's talking? We'd love to hear some feedback on this. DM us, comment, whatever it takes.
I'd like to know if I need to punch myself in the nuts before every episode so that I have a higher pitch voice.
Yeah, or if we just have to say, this is Bo speaking. I think...
That'd be lame.
No, I'm just kidding.
Or maybe put on a Darth Vader helmet.
I'll get one of those voice changers from the 90s. Did you get a haircut recently?
Yeah.
You got this Russell Crowe gladiator look going on.
Let's freaking go.
Dude, I'm getting the vibes. Now you just need the costume and you just need to go.
Dude, what a compliment.
Cut some heads off.
I wish we had a camera so you guys could see my sick haircut, but
yeah.
Just take Bo's word for it. I look smashing.
Should I take a picture and post it on our social media? I want to touch on something before we jump into the movie. Quite the historic announcement for Zelda fans out there.
Oh,
they're making a Zelda movie, but I feel like it's come 10 years too late because now we're in the decade of poorly made films.
Yeah, well,
especially for big IPs.
Yeah.
I'm not excited about the director they have hired or the screenwriter. I don't trust them with it. I don't know why anyone else is.
No, I'm a huge Zelda fan. For the longest time, my ringtone was Dragon Roost Island. For Zelda fans out there, you know what I'm talking about. Massive Zelda fan here, and I can tell you I am not excited for this movie at all. One, Link is a silent protagonist, so naturally they're going to make him speak. They're just going to, and it's going to ruin his whole character. They're going to have him do some freaking lame stuff. And he's not even blonde. They literally got a brunette to do it.
The best part was, though, after I texted Dan and Riley. For those who don't know Riley, he was on our first episode, RIP. Wish he was here for the other episodes. But he's a good friend of ours. And I texted Dan and Riley about the news. And the first thing Dan said is, what the heck? He's not blonde. And then the next message was, at least he's not black. And it's not a racist comment. It's a comment on the Hollywood system, how they just have to change people's races.
Yeah.
To be not white.
Why couldn't they got a blonde guy with blue eyes? That's what Link's character is in every game. He's a blonde guy with blue eyes. Well, he's a blonde. Technically, he's a Kokiri. Well, if you get deeper in, some people say he's not even a Kokiri. But he's blonde with blue eyes.
Right, because he gets bigger than them, right?
Yeah.
He's
raised by the Kokiri, but right. I think they technically is an elf. Nerds out there, you can correct me. Pretty sure he's an elf. But he's definitely not a brunette. That's for sure. Yeah, but again, at least they didn't completely change his race like they did with the Little Mermaid.
I feel like if this movie would have got announced after okay, what years did the Lord of the Rings come out? The third
2004 was the last one.
Last one. If this got announced in 2006, we're making a Zelda movie directed by Peter Jackson.
Oh, dude.
I would be like, let's freaking go.
True.
But yeah, I also grew up playing Zelda. Mostly my brothers grew up playing the Nintendo one, on the NES. I didn't really dabble in that because I was a little younger. But I played N64, Ocarina of Time.
Great game.
Yeah, super fun.
Yeah, but it's really hard to make a character who's a silent protagonist into a movie. How are you supposed to do that? Every game that he's in, he's quiet. He doesn't talk at all.
Because you're him, right? And it's just your little fairy that's talking, or someone else, right? And you're not even he's not even reacting. You're as the player, you're reacting, and he's just kind of standing there.
Yeah.
He has some reactions, but Yeah.
If those are his lines, it'll be a great movie.
Yeah. I think you could. I'll have to think on this because this is a good point. I want to say I could probably try to think of a movie where. Oh, I thought of one. Have you seen Mad Max Fury Road? Came out 2016-ish.
No.
I think. You haven't seen it? Okay. Well, the main character of the movie like has almost zero dialogue in the movie. But his choices, I mean, I have to go back and look at. People say it's a really good movie. I'm not the biggest fan, but I think his decisions and actions still drive a lot of the action of the movie, like a lot of the tension and whatever, right? The plot, his choices, his actions. So you could kind of go that route where it's like he is kind of a silent person and he only speaks when he really has to. And we could try to think of other characters in other movies that are kind of like that. Like another one we just watched recently, or I watched maybe. They kind of only react when they need to.
Chewbacca.
Yeah.
He's a silent protagonist.
Han Solo doesn't talk. Luke doesn't ever watch.
I'm not looking. I mean, maybe it'll be great. Maybe I'll be completely surprised. But
no, I'm not holding my breath at all.
Here's the other thing too. The Zelda story is a very masculine story. The bad guy comes and he kidnaps the princess, and she is helpless, and you have to go and defeat all the monsters to save the princess.
Yeah.
That is the story. And that does not fly in Hollywood today. You can't possibly have a woman who is useless, who needs a man's help, and the man will go and save the day. That's just not how it's going to play. And that's how every Zelda game is.
So more than likely, Zelda herself is going to play a big role in this movie of being like a heroine and doing things. I
almost guarantee that Zelda will be a boss babe and Link is going to be her little B-word simp.
Yeah.
Because that's how they make movies now, and that's how men are portrayed.
And nobody wants it.
Nope.
So stop.
Not even liberal women want that.
No, they don't.
And they're the ones who claim they do.
Yeah.
Anyways, talking about a masculine character, Han
freaking
Solo. Holy crap.
Yeah, man. Let's get into the spoiler-free takes on The Empire Strikes Back. I always just want to call it Empire Strikes Back. I guess there's the though.
I like this movie. I think that it shines in ways that the first one doesn't.
Absolutely.
But I think that the first one shines in more ways than this one does.
Okay.
Having rewatched both of them recently, I actually enjoyed A New Hope more.
Yeah. All right. We're getting some sway to New Hope because that's always been like my number one.
It's so good. Like, again, when we finished that movie, I was just like, wow, what a great movie. Like, such a good... The whole thing is just awesome. And this one, again, is a good movie. Like, it's definitely not a bad movie, but at the end, I was feeling like, I actually liked New Hope better.
Yeah, and this one's hard, too, because it's like, it's really kind of almost incomplete. It's like the middle, it's like the second act of a 3-act play with A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi.
And then Return of the Jedi just poops the bed.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to...
We'll get to that. Yeah, but I absolutely agree where this one takes some of the things that were somewhat lacking in the first one, like specifically one I have in mind is anything with spaceships flying and battling. Like the Millennium Falcon is so much cooler in this movie.
I totally agree.
It's weaving and cruising and diving through ships and Star Destroyers, and the TIE fighters are freaking zooming following it. So it's a lot cooler and more impressive in that sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely improvements there. And then like even just the sets and the lighting just look amazing. Like when they're sitting in the cockpit on The Empire Strikes Back and like there's all the freaking lights behind them and things, like I don't know how much it changed, but some of the shots look really, really good.
I agree.
And if you went and put them side by side, I think you'd see like, oh yeah, they look cool in the first one, but they made it even cooler.
I agree.
In this one.
Yeah, special effects and technology and sets. This one is, I think it might be the best in the whole, in like all the movies. I said this to you several times. Like, dang, that set just looks amazing.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, which one was it? The carbonite freezing chamber room.
Oh, it looks so awesome, and all the sound effects and the claw, and like the steam going everywhere, and the dim lighting, and the stairs
that are lit.
It looks
that's so cool.
All of Bespin looks incredible.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the music in this one is better than A New Hope as well. Like they have a lot more variety. I feel like in this one,
more variety and some bangers.
And yeah, overall the quality and the production value is much better. But I think the story is less compelling.
Okay. Well, we're going to get into that for sure. There's definitely some great things about just more about the Force and the universe and the world building that I want to get into. So unless we have any other initial thoughts, I think we're just going to jump into spoilers.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, fans, if you haven't already, go check us out on YouTube at Real Legends Movie Podcast. You can subscribe and comment there. It really helps grow the show if you interact with us at all. There on Instagram as well at real.legends.pod. Yeah, we'd love to interact with you and read your comments on the show about the movies we're watching or have already watched. We'll definitely call attention to them and we'll read them and talk or kind of interact with you in that way. Feel free to comment and help grow the show and send this podcast to anyone you know that loves movies. All right, we're getting into spoilers, so if you haven't seen Empire Strikes Back, shame on you. Go rot in space hell.
See you in hell!
Yeah! Do you have any just thoughts you want to get into right away?
I think that I like how they introduced the movie where it's like it doesn't pick off right after the Death Star is destroyed.
Yeah.
It's like a couple months, maybe a few years later, where the rebels have already left. They've already gone to this new place. They've kind of already established another base, but they're scraping by, and the Empire is just not letting them go because you destroyed the Death Star, but the Empire is this massive organization that's controlling dozens of planets and is subjugating even more. And so it's like they have a massive army. So they feel very, very small.
Yeah, like the Senate's gone now. And it's just the Empire calling the shots and the rebels are on their heels. Pretty much is what it feels like going into this movie.
Yep. Him getting attacked by the Wampa was way more lame than I remember it being. I'm not gonna lie.
I actually want to talk about that because we're watching like the most current version probably. Sadly, I don't have like the original version, but I know in the original version from memory, the version we watched shows a lot more of the Beast. I think in the original version you might never actually even see it at all.
Really?
So any of the shots where you actually see it, and fans correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe we'll look it up in just a second, but you don't see him. And especially when he's hanging upside down, and he's over there eating, you never see any of that. I know for sure. And so the whole time when he's struggling, you just hear noises. And since you never see it, it's kind of like that Jaws thing, where if you've seen Jaws, they don't show the shark a lot, but the music, dun, 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 dun. It's like that, where it's like, well, since I hear him, but I don't see him, if Luke doesn't hurry up, he's going to get him. He's coming. So you got to do something, and you got to do it quick. I think that works much better. I think this is another failing of George Lucas thinking we need an alien walking across the camera. But in this case, the Wampa just eating and different things where I think it takes away from the tension of the scenes. So maybe we'll watch the clip of the original.
That would be interesting to see how it changes, but my issue is that, so first of all, he's out doing a patrol, placing sensors for life, and there's a massive life form 2 feet away from him. I got no readings, and this big white hand just whacks him off, and it's like, how did you not see that? And then when he's in the ice cave, somehow the guy puts him up. Is that his spit? Did he glue him to the roof with his gross Wampa spit? And then he's we
don't have to think about that. It's just cool that he's frozen to the ceiling.
I know. I have to be okay with it, but I was like, that's stupid. And then when he chops off the Wampa's arm, he could easily just kill the thing and stay in the cave
Right.
where it's warm.
Flees.
But he runs out into the middle of the blizzard, and it's like, dude.
Again, I want to say that's a moment where they don't show the beast with his arm cut off. So it's like they show him sliced, they show the arm on the ground, but you as the audience, you don't actually get to see the beast, and so the Wampa, and so like it would be more believable. Like, okay, maybe this thing's still gonna try to attack him. Maybe there's more. Who knows? We don't know. Like the unknown is kind of like what's scary.
That would make it better because you see the Wampa and you're like, oh, Luke could easily kill this thing.
He just cut its arm off,
and it's like whining and groaning. It's like Luke could easily just
stab it
right into the heart or chop its head off, and then just hang out in the cave until Han comes.
Until the storm passes.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe it's one of those things where like it kind of shows Luke's impatience, where like he's not thinking through things. He's just trying to get out as fast as he can, and so instead of killing the Wampa, he just runs right out into the blizzard, and Han has to save him because Luke's character, as it goes throughout the movie, is very impatient, very gung-ho, and he's not really thinking about things critically. He just wants to go and do.
Yeah. It's also, he might be just pumped full of adrenaline too. Might be able to chalk it up to adrenaline, fear.
It's a very small critique, but sure. I will say, as for it being the first scene, I was kind of like,
the first like action.
I think they could have done better there.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's fair. Thought to even just talk about for sure. I do think the original version works better.
I would think so. The mystery of the Wampa makes it more intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
We need to talk about Han and Leia and their tension. Han is just such a prick. He's such a jerk to her the whole time, but he's like he's clearly a scoundrel, and he clearly knows how to get women. Because the way he talks to her is very, like, pushing her buttons, but it's like, oh, you like me, don't you? Oh, you like me. Which makes her, like, hate him, but also like him.
Well, let's get to the first time they interact on this movie. I mean, at the end of the last movie, they're, like, gung-ho, like, everyone's happy to be together. We just won. Yeah. You're a great guy. Thanks for coming back. We're all hugging. The end. This one, we get into a couple of years past, maybe, and she's all butthurt because he's leaving because he has a bounty on his head.
Yeah. This
is still part of what's going on. And he goes to say goodbye, and she's being all bratty and like, yeah, I guess so. It's like, come on, dude. I put my life on the line for your rebellion, for freedom, for the galaxy, for you. And like, you're going to be snooty to me?
Yeah.
Like, so long, princess. Like, F you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't blame him, to be honest.
And then she like never admits that she actually cares for him, even though he pushes for it. Yeah. But I think he obviously does it in a very like brutish way, and he's very Han, very Han of him.
I think it's freaking hilarious.
He's just like, oh, what about you? What do you want? Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. And he goes, I think you do. That's how you feel about me. And he's strutting away, and he's just like, you like me, just say it. And she like refuses to say it.
And then later when he's rescued Luke in front of everyone, all the group, the gang, he's just like, she expressed her true feelings for me, which she never did.
Scruffy looking nerve herder.
Puts her on the spot. Yeah. Who's scruffy looking?
Their dialogue is so fun.
Yeah. Great writing.
He is such a scoundrel, but like you can see that she's like she's kind of into it. Like the whole, like, when they're in the Millennium Falcon in that little closet.
Honestly, I think it's perfectly woman. It's what she really is mad at, is that he's leaving. She's not mad that, like, she doesn't like him or that he's this scoundrel guy. She's mad because he's leaving. Yeah. And that's what it really is, but she won't say it because she's a freaking woman. And so you just left guessing, where it's like, why are you making this hard? Like, why?
And then the scene when they're in the closet with the Millennium Falcon. And he's just like,
the closet
or whatever it is. I don't know where they are. She's doing something, and he comes in there, and he's just like, she's like, you're a scoundrel. And
she's like, I happen to like good men. I'm a good man. That's so freaking good.
And he's like, you need more scoundrels in your life. And he's like pushing up on her, but she is not saying no.
No, dude. And then when they finally kiss, she has her hand on the back of his head.
And C-3PO freaking cock blocks my boy. Turn that freaking thing off. Gosh, C-3PO is so fetching annoying in this episode.
Yeah, he had jettison his ass in his face.
He's obnoxious in this episode. There's a few moments where it's like, shut up.
That's what's great, though, that, like, the characters in the film get fed up with him, too.
Yeah.
Shut him up or shut him down.
Yep.
Something else I want to talk about, since we're on Han Solo, and we'll get back into the other stuff, is, I noted this down, Han is constantly being questioned the whole movie by Leia and 3PO. I don't think Chewie, also I don't speak Wookiee, but like constantly like, what are you doing? Don't go to the astrofield. And then C-3PO is like, yeah, don't go. Or like, you're going to go closer to an asteroid? He attaches himself to the Star Destroyer to hide, which is a great move. He constantly has great ideas. Like, I know what I'm doing. Get the freak out of my way. And taking action the whole movie. But people are questioning him. But then it's like, he's always vindicated. It's like, just shut up. I've got this under control. But he doesn't give into that, like he could just be like, shut the F up. I've got this. Or like be touting himself afterwards, being like, see, don't worry about it. He's just like, whatever. I'm just kind of blocking you out. I'm just going to do my thing. But
what is funny because
great male character, great masculine energy.
I agree. It is funny though, because Leia's like kind of saying like, don't do this, and then when he finally gets him out, she's all like, oh,
it's like, you have your moments.
Kisses him on the cheek, and she's all, yeah, you have your moments. And it's like, come on.
She even does a little sarcastic where it's like, you have your moments, not a lot of them, but you have them. It's like, yeah, whatever.
They're such a good little couple, though.
Yeah.
Both of them are just so sarcastic and, like, kind of belittling each other, but it's like, you like it the whole time.
Both a little stubborn.
Yeah. But you see, like, that they both genuinely care about each other, too. Because, like, well, we haven't talked about the attack scene. So this is kind of the tail end of it. Awesome scene, by the way. When he comes back specifically for her, because he knows that she's stubborn.
Yeah.
And he knows that she's not going to leave. So he goes and grabs her by the arm and yanks her and says, we're leaving or else you're dead. And, you know, like you see that he like really loves her and really cares about her. And then when he's tortured in Bespin and he gets thrown back in, she's super nurturing and like caring for him.
Yeah.
And it's like, these two really do care about each other. And it's nice to see they're both just they both have massive egos and they both are extremely competent and confident.
And that's just good storytelling and writing as well, because you're creating a lot of tension between them, which is great. And drama, like things done, you know, them taking actions that are, you in some ways you think kind of driving a wedge between them.
Mm-hmm.
But then you see like in their eyes and in the way they interact that you know that they like each other.
Yeah.
And so it just makes for compelling storytelling.
It is interesting though, because I wouldn't ever give people advice to act like this in a marriage and in a relationship.
Well, they're not in a marriage, so like, but early on, I mean, I would like, and I, again, easier said than done in my own life, but I feel like Han Solo is doing exactly what you should do. It's like if a woman, like you're giving of yourself, you're being a masculine leader. You're showing that you care. You're showing up, and if she's gonna be snooty and pouty, just because she doesn't like what you're doing, like, hey, I gotta go take care of this bounty thing. I've given a lot here.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go take care of this. And you're gonna be whiny about it. It's like, well, F you then.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta just
keep. It's a good point.
You gotta follow your path, man.
It's a good point, honestly, because he did like sacrifice a lot, but yeah, she likes him a lot, and she doesn't really know like what to do with her emotions. It's very interesting. All right,
I think it's very real.
I agree. The attack on Hoth.
Yeah, we gotta get to it, dude.
Freaking awesome scene, dude. The one guy's like, all right, he doesn't think they're at Hoth. Darth Vader knows they are because he can feel it.
Yeah.
And the guy jumps out of hyperspace too close to the planet, so the rebels are aware of it.
Yeah, and
he's like, he is as clumsy as he is stupid, and just chokes him, puts the next guy in charge.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, Darth Vader's crazy.
Yeah, he's not messing around.
He's
dude.
not.
Don't screw up.
But I love that they do that because it gives us the opportunity to see the AT-ATs, which are the coolest vehicle in any Star Wars by far. And the first, like, prepare for a ground assault, and they're all just getting ready in that music. Dun, dun, dun.
I don't know.
It's in my head. I can hear it. It's such a good like scary theme. And then he has the binoculars and he looks and he just sees this massive foot just go. It's like, what is that thing? And you look up and it's this massive walker with 4 legs.
Just
and it's
freaking giant giraffe.
just so you've never seen anything like this ever. And it just wrecks them so quickly.
Yeah, it's very cool that we get rebels that seem more like soldiers in this movie.
Yeah.
They're, acting more tactical, preparing for battle, taking cover,
Yeah.
have their weapon placements set up and really acting like a force to be reckoned with, although they're way outmatched.
Yeah, but it's so obvious. Like, I think there's 6 or 7 walkers and they're only able to take down 2. Right. And so they're just walking up slowly, and then just sure enough, everybody gets wrecked or they have to escape. Like, it's just an absolute wipeout.
Yeah, they can't turn them. They can't keep them from destroying the shield generator. They take out a few, but they throw in an ATST in there too, and like I believe it was only in 1 shot, which is kind of disappointing. Like, I wish they would have shown like it shooting some guys or something or doing something. But great vehicles. Great scene.
Such an awesome scene. When I was a kid, all I cared about was fighting scenes.
Yeah.
And this is one that I would always like just fast forward to and watch because the AT-AT is just such a awesome vehicle.
I had a toy, not like an original, but I had a toy snow speeder with the little harpoon cable thing.
Dude, the snow speeders are very cool as well.
Yeah.
And the sound effects they make. Very, very iconic.
Yeah, those are cool. So yeah, great battle sequence for us in The Empire Strikes Back. The biggest battle sequence we've had, and really on the ground, probably the biggest.
Yeah, the only one that they tried to match it with was Crate in The Last Jedi.
Yeah,
and that scene is just lame in comparison.
Yeah,
like very, very lame.
I agree.
Even though like the vehicles are technically bigger and have bigger guns, it just doesn't feel like very cool.
I would have loved them just to do something more original, but we'll save that for another time.
Yeah, that's true. I love that the Empire is just so formidable. Like, they are just such a massive force. Like, you really feel that the rebellion is just screwed. Like, you see these walkers and it's like all you have is a couple of ships and they all get shot down. Like, you guys are toast.
I don't want to jump into another movie, but I want to mention 2 things really quick. Well, maybe I'll just mention like a preview. When we get to Rogue One, I want to talk about another time where we get to face AT-ATs.
Oh, that scene is so awesome.
Because there's some differences in that one. Like I said, more original. Like, we get a different combination of fighting in that one, like where some X-Wings come in and things. And so it's cool. Because, like, yeah, they just have the snow speeders in this one, but that one's a different story.
True, that is true.
It's really cool.
And they have the monkey with the electric gun, if you remember that scene.
I don't remember that.
Dude, it's like my favorite scene.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I should get on that. Okay, we'll get to that. But let's also mention, shout out to Darth Vader's Super Star Destroyer. It's so cool.
My gosh, it's so big.
So cool. So big.
It's so huge, dude. You see the little Star Destroyers, like you see the Star Destroyers, and then it's just like next to this massive thing, and you're like, what is that thing? It's and then like, you see the engine, and the engine is like the size of a Star Destroyer.
Yeah, it's so cool, and the coloring's like darker, and the lighting on it's different. Just super bad.
The engine is orange instead of blue. It's so intimidating.
Super cool. So just have to get a shout out to that. Darth Vader, yeah, he means business in this movie. It's like, do your job, do it right and perfect, and everything I say. Yeah. Or else you're screwed. I'm going to choke you out.
It's very interesting because it's super reminiscent of Hitler. And it ends up being why Hitler lost World War II. His commanders, lieutenants would come to him with bad news and he would kill them.
Really?
Yeah. And so lieutenants and commandants, or whatever you call them in German, would refuse to give Hitler bad news.
Yeah.
So the Battle of Stalingrad, for example, they were fighting against the Russians. And they were losing bad. But Hitler sent no reinforcements because
no one told them they were losing.
Yeah. Every time it was like, oh, we're doing fine. We're doing fine. We're doing fine. until finally they started losing, and then it was too late at that point.
So bad strategy.
So it's interesting that Darth Vader has very similar things where it's like anyone gives him bad news, anything goes wrong, it's instant, like no mercy. So then it becomes a lot more about saving your own skin and not really getting the job done.
Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I just like how like side characters in this movie are just side characters.
Yeah.
They're not like you don't have to give them their own arc and story and
I definitely agree with that you don't need to like throw in random characters just to have them. Like it doesn't actually improve the story in some cases.
Just thought about that a little bit. I just like how they're interior, they just do their thing, they serve their purpose, and nothing beyond that.
Yeah. Well, basically they escape from Hoth. But Han, Leia, and Chewbacca and C-3PO are being pursued by the Empire still. An awesome scene where they're going through the asteroids and the Millennium Falcon goes sideways through that little canyon.
Oh yeah, so sick.
That's the first time the Millennium Falcon does that maneuver.
Uh-huh.
And then you see the TIE fighters get destroyed and they go down to that little tunnel. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. And then Luke, we didn't mention, but obviously if you've seen the movie, Obi-Wan appeared to him and said he needs to go get trained by the Jedi that trained him, which is Yoda. And so he needs to go to Dagobah. Now, Dan made a comment during the movie that Yoda didn't train you, Qui-Gon Jinn trained you. But I think technically the prequels kind of solve that issue, even though they bring up the issue of bringing Qui-Gon Jinn in. Technically, when you're like a youngling, Yoda is the one kind of teaching you.
It is true.
And then when you become of age to be a Padawan, you get taken on as an apprentice.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's a mix of both. So you could argue your way out of that.
Plus, he's not going to be like my one leader who before the other one died, and his name was. It's like okay, you don't need to include all that. So it's fine. Sure, doesn't matter. Anyway. I think that the scene where he meets Yoda is actually an awesome scene.
I love it.
And Yoda's like a goofball, and like he's testing Luke. Yeah, he's testing him to see
how he reacts.
Yeah, and Luke reacts terribly.
Oh yeah,
Luke is impatient.
He's not welcoming.
No, and he wants a warrior. You know, like he wants like this big answer. Or honestly,
he wants it now.
Kind of reminds me of how the Pharisees reacted to Jesus. They were like, "You're supposed to liberate us from the Romans. You're supposed to be this big warrior."
Right.
And instead you're teaching us to be nice to each other.
Yeah.
Right? So Yoda and Luke meet each other and Luke is looking for a warrior and Yoda says, wars are not what make Jedi great.
Yeah, wars make not one great.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, that was cool. Okay. You kind of hear that. Did you hear that, Luke? But he doesn't hear it because he's being impatient. And he's looking for a specific thing. And in that moment where he finally, like Yoda just had enough. And he's just like, I can't train this twerp.
Yeah.
And then Luke is like, wait, no, I promise I can be better. But it's like, it's very interesting to see Yoda's technique of like, okay, how patient are you? I'm going to do a bunch of annoying things, see how you react.
Right.
I should do that on dates more.
That's great advice. I also love how Yoda gets in a little fight with R2-D2. Mine!
Fighting over the beef stick. No, the lantern.
The lantern. No, that beef stick is a payday or like a nut roll bar or something.
That is a nut roll. It's like a massive, like a huge Slim Jim.
We were just interrupted by none other than
Clumps McGee.
Clumps, man. No, it's a little clumpy in here.
He's clumped it up, dude. It is getting a little clumpy in here. Let's open a window.
Shout out to Cam.
Okay, Yoda.
Yeah. So he reveals himself to be Yoda in his home. Obi-Wan kind of is trying to argue for Luke. And Luke's trying to argue for Luke that, you know, I can be a Jedi. But Yoda kind of is like, what know you of being a Jedi, right? Like, I have all this experience. How are you going to tell me that you're going to be a Jedi?
Yeah.
It's interesting, too, and we'll get to this as we talk more about everything Yoda does with Luke, but I was just listening to a guy today that I love his content he makes. Shout out to Chris Doe. And he was talking about how you should, if you have some talent and you're trying to pursue something and you really want to do it, whether that's government or that's filmmaking or that's podcasting or whatever, he's like, go find someone, basically go find your Yoda and give your whole self to them. And they're going to ask you to do really, really hard things that are like way beyond what you think you're capable of because they're at that level.
Mm-hmm.
And you just got to do it. And like one day you'll look back and see like, wow, yeah, that was really hard, but now I've stretched myself so much, I can do way more than I thought I could do.
Mm-hmm.
And that reminded me, that was today. And so that when going to Yoda and Luke's training, and Luke, like, you want the impossible. And it's like, bro, Christo was right. You gotta just like submit and stretch because this person knows what you don't know. They have the experience you don't have.
All of the lines that Yoda has are so freaking good. When he finally pulls the X-Wing out, Yoda just does it effortlessly, and he just says, "I don't believe it." And he says, "That is why you fail." It's like, that is such a good line. I freaking love it.
Dude,
and then when
he's
talking about the dark side too, that like dark side is not stronger, but it's easier, more seductive,
right,
quick, the quick and easy way. And it's like, you can't go down that way at all because it's easy. You have to do the hard work.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to be angry. It's easy to react to your emotions. It's easy to be reactive. Whereas he says like you need to be calm, patient, and like you'll be able to find those moments of like the light side when you're calm and peaceful.
Yeah, you'll be able to distinguish when you're not acting on impulse and emotion. You'll be able to know, okay, which path do I need to take?
Dude, it's the freaking priesthood.
Yeah. And it makes me reflect back to when, I know we're jumping back, different movie, but Qui-Gon, Darth Maul, there's a shield ray separating them. And what does Qui-Gon do?
Meditates.
Gets on his knees and meditates.
He still loses.
But I think it's a perfect example of what Yoda's saying, right? It's like, he's not giving in to anger. He's not giving in to impatience. He's not worried about the outcome. He's just getting in tune of what do I need to do. Yeah. He's
awesome. I love like every scene with Yoda in this movie. I think that that's where the movie really, really shines. I think the Hoth battle and then the
stuff with Yoda
is so good.
I know we're going long, but I want to talk about like a lot of the stuff Yoda expands our universe, expands our understanding of the Force. And so in one of those, you brought up like what you just said, but it made me think about when they're back in the house and he says, a Jedi, dang it, I didn't look up the line. It's like something about like, go ahead.
A Jedi must have the deepest commitment, the most serious mind.
Yes. So for me, that expands a lot about like, even looking back at Obi-Wan, and then he also says later, like, a Jedi uses the Force for knowledge and defense, never for attack. And you look back at Obi-Wan, and he's personifying a lot of these things, right? Obi-Wan is very disciplined and is a serious man, right? He's never rushing. He's never in a hurry. He's never really using the Force for attack, only for defense. Like, these aren't the droids you're looking for. He's defending himself against Vader when Vader comes looking for him. And I think this, to me, just is expanding, like, okay, we think about Jedi and sometimes we think about these guys that are just running around with lightsabers and using the Force to fight people. But in this context of these movies, like, they're a lot more like monkish, right? They're a lot more like you talked about, like priesthood holders. They're a lot more like being in tune with God.
Godly men, right?
Right, yeah, godly men that are really in control and disciplined and thinking about what their purpose is under a higher power, not what's in it for me or how can I be the hero or impulsive or emotional. So, yeah, just the stuff with Yoda really paints a picture of what a Jedi really is.
Yeah. And you see that, like, Luke really isn't ready. Like, he's very far behind. Pretty much every exercise that he does, he's able to do it, sort of, but he always just keeps getting distracted by something. Something always keeps making him lose focus. He loses control. He's not patient enough. And so it is interesting that Yoda says, like, he's too old. Because children are a lot easier to teach than he is. Because he's, like, in his, what is he, 20, maybe?
Yeah, by this moment,
he's like,
because I think in the first movie he's 18, so like 20 now.
Yeah.
Because I think it's only like a year or two has
Yeah,
passed.
once you're 20, you're not exactly set in your ways, but like you're a lot less moldable than you would be as like a 3-year as a youngling, right?
Right.
Ask Anakin's lightsaber.
Too soon.
But yeah, you're a lot easier to like, mold into the way that you'd want to be. And you end up seeing kind of, and this is my biggest critique of the movie by far. Yoda tells him that he can see the future, and he goes into the cave and he sees that he could become bad, right? Chops off Vader's head, the mask blows up, he sees his face, so he sees that he could turn bad.
Right.
Yoda then he gets into the X-Wing and he's about to leave, and Yoda says, if you go, everything your friends have worked towards will fall. All of it's gonna fail if you go. You're too inexperienced. Don't go. He says it like 3 separate times, like, you're gonna ruin this. Things are gonna go bad. Don't leave. Don't leave. Don't leave. Don't leave.
The exact line is, if you choose the quick and easy path as Vader did, an agent of evil you will become.
Yeah. So you're expecting the whole time, and then as he's leaving, Yoda says, no, there is another. So you're thinking, oh my gosh, we thought Luke was the hero this whole time. Luke is about to go and be turned evil into the dark side. This is going to be crazy.
Right.
But then he doesn't. And it doesn't even matter. Like, the worst thing that happens is that Hans gets put into carbonate, but that would have happened either way, whether Luke had come or not. He was already planning on doing that.
Sure.
Leia and Calrissian escape not because of Luke either. Like, they escape regardless of him.
Yep.
And he gets his arm chopped off, but then he instantly gets it back the same episode. So there's really no like downside to him ignoring all of Yoda's advice. And to me that's really annoying, because Yoda is wise and he is like telling Luke what's going on.
Sure.
So either Yoda didn't know what was going on and basically couldn't predict anything, or
Obi-Wan does say not even Yoda can see everything right in the future, because he's like, but they'll die if I don't go, and he's like, not even Yoda knows it for sure if that's the outcome, right?
Yeah, but
I get what you're saying, where he makes like a definitive statement: if you go,
you're going to be turned into an agent of evil,
right? Like
you're like, don't do this, and so you're thinking like something bad is about to happen, and nothing really happens.
Sure. I was paying attention for that because I knew you were going to bring this up because you've talked about it before. So, and I'm not trying to just give a pass for this, but how I sincerely took this, especially if you watch Yoda's expression after Luke says like, fine, but then still goes. It's like, I understand. And then he still goes. If you watch Yoda's reaction, he's like, and yeah, that could mean a number of things. But to me, it's like, almost like he's giving him a warning of like, even though he's making it in a statement like, this will happen. Like a parent, right? Like, no, don't go do this. You're going to get hurt. But like, do you always get hurt when your parents say that? No.
Yeah, that's true. But he's like the Jedi master.
But also there is like a condition on this, right? He says, if you choose the quick and easy path as Vader did, an agent of evil you'll become. So it's like, there's conditions, right? It's not only if you leave right now, you're going to become an agent of evil. That's not the final maker, right?
There's another...
if you choose the quick and easy path all around, when you get there and you're like, I'm going to give in to anger, that's what's going to lead you to the dark side, right? Not just going to help your friends. Would you ever argue that going to help your friends is going to change you to the dark side? The path of the dark side is fear, anger, whatever else Yoda mentions actually in this movie.
Well, there's another line that I'm thinking of.
Right here, anger, fear, aggression. And I don't really see, even if Vader's trying to goat Luke, I don't really ever see any anger in him.
So here's the line that I specifically remember. He says, "Decide you must how to serve them best. If you leave now, help them you could, but you would destroy all for which they have fought and suffered."
Yeah, because if you become an agent of evil and make the Empire stronger, you're going to destroy what they're fighting for, which is liberation, right? If you go and end up joining the dark side, then what was the point of going to help them? Right?
Yeah, but he's like making a prediction though. If you go, like, you can make your choice, but if you do,
Help them you could.
yeah, help them you could, but you would destroy all they would have fought and suffered for.
Yeah, and he gives that line like earlier on the Dagobah training scene, right? Which the Dagobah, not a lot of people realize this. I've never realized this, but it doesn't take place over like a day or two. It takes place over like weeks, which we're supposed to just kind of infer because the Millennium Falcon doesn't have light speed but travels all the way to Bespin. So that's supposed to take. I think they should have done a better job at like making it clear, like, oh, this is taking weeks without having to say it. But even that line comes a lot earlier in his training, where it's like, yeah, if you leave right now, you're especially not ready, because you see him get better and stronger and more in tune with the Force as he goes on Dagobah. He starts with like not even be able to get the one stone on top of the rock, and then he's lifting like 3 crates and R2D2. So I think there's some leeway with that too. But I get what you're saying here.
It's just frustrating because I don't think that he has enough punishment for ignoring Yoda. Like they make it. Like, I just remember like the feeling of like while he's leaving, it's like this feeling of like, oh, don't go. Like, you're gonna ruin things. Don't do it. Like Yoda and Obi-Wan are both telling you to not do this, and you are just ignoring them over and over and over.
You want me to give you my other take on this?
Sure.
My other take is this has everything to do with just storytelling intention. So George Lucas, and it's obvious when you look at it, but like the reason, if you look at it from a storytelling sense, you want those things to happen, be said, and almost promises to be made, and there is another, because then it makes the audience wonder, like you actually are, oh shoot, this might not work out.
Yeah. So
then it makes it, you have tension and stakes when he leaves. Because if there's no like, if the opposite were the case, where it's like Luke, first time he meditates and sees like, oh, my friends are in trouble, I gotta go, and Yoda's like, you're right, go rescue him, then it's like, okay, see, he's obviously gonna rescue them.
I actually like that Yoda does that whole thing, and I like that Luke ignores it. I just wish there was more of a lasting consequence because Luke ignored Yoda and Obi-Wan. Because again, all the consequences that happen because of it, all that happens is he loses an arm and he gets it right back that same episode.
And yeah, I mean,
that's all that happens. That's bad. Like, that's it. So I mean, in my mind,
it's all that happens. Yeah, by the end of the movie, that's all that happens. But like in the moment, he doesn't know if he's going to make it out alive, right? He's hanging from the bottom of a floating city,
right?
And it's like, wow, this is the worst thing ever. Maybe Yoda was right. Maybe I shouldn't have rushed in.
Well, he clearly loses, right?
Yeah.
But all that his friends fought for, I mean, nothing changes there.
Yeah, because he doesn't join the dark side. Right?
Yeah. Han's already in carbonite regardless.
But he was offered. Vader was like, we can go take out the Empire. And I want to get to this too. We need to talk about the villain and just a couple different things. But Vader offers him, like, me and you join up. We'll take out the Empire. We can sort everything out and be in power. Luke doesn't. So the opportunity for him to take that path is presented.
Yeah. Maybe he's stronger than what Yoda thinks, maybe.
Right.
Here's how I think it should have gone. I think he either dies, becomes a bad person with Darth Vader, or one of his friends should die.
As a result of his choice.
Because there are massive stakes, but in the end of the episode, you're like, oh, literally none of that mattered. So like Rogue One, the reason I love it so much is because the stakes are so high, and at the end, they pay the piper. Like, they die for it. And it's like, wow, those stakes were so high, they gave their life for it. You know what I mean? Whereas in this one, like, the stakes are very high, but then in the end, it's like, well, none of that really mattered. Everything turned out okay.
Yeah.
So I say one of those should happen, or Leia becomes the Jedi, and she has to be like the one who's trained, because he kind of like foreshadows it.
Sure.
To me, you either get rid of this massive like fight that he has with Yoda, and Yoda is just like, well, you could go, you could not. The future's uncertain. You might not win.
I don't think the movie builds as much tension, because you're set yourself like, dude, you might screw this up. Don't go.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like a storytelling, like, what would you say? Necessity, or like, again, like bringing that tension and is helpful to make the movie better.
But it makes me not trust Yoda and Obi-Wan anymore. They put up such a stink.
Well, I think when we get to the third movie, we'll have, because again, this is the second act to a 3-act play here. There are things in the third movie that are direct consequences to what happens in this movie.
Yeah. I think you should get like his eye cut
And maybe,
out or something.
maybe we
something,
can,
you know?
maybe we could, no, I actually was going to say, like, yeah, what if someone like loses their vision, because of his choices, like
something.
Someone gets their eyeballs cut
where
off,
he learns, like, okay, my impatience, my
honestly
brashness.
Cool if instead of his hand get cut off, like Vader slices his eyes with his saber and he's like blind.
Yeah.
It's like, now you're blind.
Yeah, or like one of his eyes, and he has a scar there forever.
Right.
So he's like, well, now I know, like, I did screw up, and like now I have to pay this. But he gets it right back.
True.
He gets it back the same episode.
Without jumping too much into the Return of the Jedi, I think there are a few consequences, and I want to talk about it when we get to it. Maybe that's what they're worried about too, Yoda and Obi-Wan. It's like, if you go, he's going to use this against you. He's going to be like, hey, I'm your dad.
Yeah.
And come join me. Because that's a big temptation, right? It's like, you're my son. Let's team up. Let's go fight the Emperor.
Yeah. I think that the story would be better if there was, like, again, there needs to be stakes, but there needs to actually be consequences to when people make bad actions. So that way, like, there's a trough. And then in the next movie, like, the crescendo feels like they've overcome something.
Yeah.
But right now, it just kind of feels like, well, the only thing that happened is Han is in carbonite. And that was regardless of whether he came or not.
I get your points. I still feel like it's a great middle entry. I love everything about the Force and things. I understand, the consequences could be bigger. I feel like that's another George Lucas thing where he's like, I'm not gonna kill any of my 3 favorite characters. Like, I'm not gonna, like, there's places he's not willing to go, so he has to do it with, like, threats, right? Like, oh, there's another, like, that's how you're gonna build tension, instead of like, or like Luke loses his hand and you think, oh, there's big consequences, man, he might die here, but then he jumps off into the oblivion and then falls perfectly into a tube, right? So George kind of pulls his punches with that.
That's again, like, where I have a hard time, like, feeling like I can say that I love this movie is just because of that. That feels like just kind of lazy storytelling, in my opinion.
I don't think it's, well, I personally wouldn't call it lazy. I would say it's like, it's not high stakes storytelling.
I think it's lame. I don't like it at all. Okay. It really annoys me.
Okay.
And that's like, every time I watch this movie, I'm like, this is so good, and then that scene happens and I'm like, so stupid.
All right. Fair enough. Last thing I want to hit, and then we can hit grades and things, is just overall the movie, there's a lot of gray morality. We get Lando. He's trying to do good things with his career and his city and things, but then the Emperor comes along and they're like, well, you either do this or we're shutting this all down.
So he betrays if I left a garrison.
Right. So he betrays his friends, and then the deal keeps getting worse and worse because he has no leverage against Vader. So Vader, once you make a deal with the devil, we see that it doesn't lead you anywhere good.
It just keeps getting worse.
Getting worse. And then, like, Vader himself, he's not to be trifled with, because I'll just hit this bullet points. He hires bounty hunters to do his dirty work. Mm-hmm. Like, all right, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll hire the scum of the universe.
Even the Empire don't like bounty hunters.
Right. I'll hire bounty hunters. I'll use their friends against them. I'll torture them just to get Luke to come here. Like, because Han gets out of the torture and he's like, they didn't even ask me any questions. It's like, well, it's not what it's for. It's to lure Luke in, right? And then when Vader gets Luke and gets the chance, he tells the Emperor he'll join us or he'll die. But when he's alone with Luke, he's like, hey, we can take out the Emperor. Mm-hmm. So I really love that Vader's a very, like, dubious.
What's crazy is that in the third movie, Anakin says the same thing to Padme. He says, we can overthrow the Empire.
Yeah, I can overthrow him, yeah.
We can rule the galaxy together.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, he's just a power-hungry little turd.
It's just, once you go down that path, right, It just consumes you like Yoda talks about in this movie.
Mm-hmm. But we listen to that when Yoda says it, but not other things.
But I think that's, I mean, even in that context, though, is because even in this movie, without the prequels, we know Vader hunts down and kills the Jedi. We hear that in the first movie, 1977. And in this movie, Yoda brings up Vader, like just like Vader, he turned to the dark side. So it's like, it's not to argue my point that you don't like. Again, Yoda has every right to be concerned with Luke running off. Like, dude, I've seen this happen. Yeah. I've seen great men turn to the dark side. Please don't go. Please finish like getting strong and understanding and learning patience so you can be a great priesthood holder. So you can be a great Jedi, right? Like, don't just rush off and do what you want to do based off emotion.
Right.
But
if you ignore me, nothing bad will happen.
Well, thankfully, nothing bad happens. Well, thankfully, nothing, he doesn't join the dark side. But yeah, I just want to hit on Vader. Cool character. He's very dubious.
Extremely cool.
Music's awesome. Unless there's anything else you want to hit. I know we didn't talk too much about Lando. He's cool. We could just hit grades.
I think it's an 8.
Okay.
I do like this movie, and the only real critique I have of it is that scene.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to give it anything lower.
I think I'll go 8.5. I think it's a pretty strong movie.
I think I gave the first one an 8.5, maybe a 9.
Pull it up.
Because I definitely like the first one more than this one.
All right, well, let's check it out. No, that's not. You gave it an 8.5.
Yeah, I'd give this one an 8.
Yeah, I'm going to give this one an 8.5. I think I like the first one a little bit better, so that's what I'm going to land on as well. So, legend or letdown?
I think it's a legend.
Yeah, definitely a legend.
Definitely not a letdown.
No. Expands the universe and makes it even cooler, and the production value is just higher.
Yeah.
Music's even better. Storytelling's still strong. Characters are great. Yoda is just an amazing addition. And even Lando, who we didn't talk about. I think he's a good addition to the cast.
It's no Interstellar, that's for sure.
Yep. That could be said. Someone could say that. Only a freaking idiot would say that.
Real.
This has been another episode of Real Legends Podcast. Thank you for joining us, and we will catch you at the concession stand.
Catch you on the flippity flip. Flop. Catch you on the flippity flop.
Flippy flop.
Flip flops.
Danny likes flip flops.
I do. Even in the summertime.
Flop, 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 flop.
I don't like flip flops, actually. They always dig into your toes. I like sandals.
I thought you were going with, like, I hate sand. Gets everywhere.
It does. That too. The sandals are great.